Have you ever tried camping, whether it's with family or friends, and you're by the campfire, you're roasting s'mores, and a cousin or a friend is playing the guitar by the campfire, and then you decide to stand up, maybe stretch out a bit, maybe go pee, and you're walking within the perimeter of the darkness and the light, and then something feels off, something feels not right. It's like something or someone is watching you. In today's reaction, we're gonna watch the most disturbing, well, camping encounters according to Chilling Scares. Let's get to it.
Since 2017, a YouTuber named Phil has been uploading videos of his hiking trips to his channel Hike Slam, where he gives his viewers a glimpse into everything he does to prepare for a long hike, camp alone in the middle of the woods, choose the right hiking gear, and pretty much everything related to the outdoors. On the night before Thanksgiving 2021, Phil went on an overnight hike to camp on the Appalachian Trail near his house in Virginia. For the first half hour of his hike, things kick off pretty normally, but after a while, he finds some odd-looking trash lying on the side of the trail. Strangely, there appears to be some writing on some of the containers he finds, which appear to be song lyrics, though it's hard to imagine why anyone would go through the trouble of writing out entire songs or poems on a plastic container only to later throw it on the side of the trail. As he crosses the boundary into the wilderness, things continue to get stranger and stranger, and as he nears the campsite, Phil finds another series of disturbing notes.
The weirdness continues.
Oh, is it? I was a hiker that hiked alone, but I hiked too much, and now what? I'm stoned. A fed what? I don't. This is drugs. Definitely drugs. Yep.
The weirdness continues.
I get it. This is probably mental illness and something scary, but don't litter, guys. Just don't. Look at this. Wait, what was that? Few nuts, illusion, images, trash pickup, courtesy of Wolfman of Helltown, Woody. Trash pickup. How is this trash pickup? It's everywhere. What is going on?
And there's a dead duck here.
What the? That's kind of fresh. What is he doing there?
Dead duck here.
That's a lot. That's a.
Some of the notes appear to contain cryptic poems, others seem to talk about pretty in-depth conspiracy theories and undercover federal agents or something, and the rest appear to be biographical, with whoever wrote them telling parts of their story. It's tough to confirm if the person who wrote the notes was the same person who killed the duck, but honestly, it would be too much of a coincidence for the dead duck to be lying right there next to the series of creepy notes.
The scary part is the duck is fresh, so that guy, whoever did this, is still there. Or at least maybe close by.
Which were obviously placed there recently considering they're in good condition and not wet. After taking in the eerie scene, Phil notices a tarp and a fire next to a campsite about 20 yards away from the notes and the dead duck. Staying as far away as possible from the campsite, he continues making his way up to a shelter. Although this next part wasn't caught on camera, Phil then reported that he saw two women coming down the trail with their dog, asking him if he had seen the guy who was leaving the creepy notes and dead animals on the side of the trail. When Phil mentioned he saw a campsite and a fire a few yards away from the notes, the woman got scared and asked him to walk back to their car with them. Thinking it was probably a good idea to move as far away as possible from the campsite anyway, Phil went back with them and then started hiking in the other direction to find a safer place to spend the night.
See, the thing about that is, like, that is not normal. Even if this is, like, not paranormal or not, like, a horror, not a like I would much rather deal with, I don't know, a Sasquatch, because somebody with mental illness like that, because it's either that or guys doing drugs. Plain simple. That's scarier.
Fortunately, the rest of his hike to the new shelter was a lot more uneventful for Phil, and once
That's the shelter, dude. It's a freaking box. Can you not close it?
he got there, he was able to set up a camp for the night, light a fire, and enjoy his dinner miles away from the disturbing
Oh,
notes he
no.
found. A few minutes later, once it got dark, Phil decided to go into the shelter and check out the camp log and see some of the notes and stories other hikers had left behind. And that's when things get extremely creepy again.
I'm gonna check out the shelter log here. I hang out by the
Whoa.
fire. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log where people write.
Dude, sidebar for a second. It's so insane because I've been like watching a lot of high strangeness, and that's the reason why I decided to start doing this, is because I've been watching a lot of high strangeness, like UFOs, cryptozoology, like just like weirdness in general, and a lot of weird things has happened in the Appalachian Trail. And my point, it's kind of random, but for a few years, I've been hearing people, I guess, pronounce Appalachia, and I thought that was the right pronunciation. But as I watched like YouTube channels like Small Town Monsters, and other like Hellbent Holler, like people who are near or within that area, how they pronounce Appalachia is like, oh, okay, now I know. Something, a little bit of a tidbit.
In their
'Cause I
trail
didn't know.
names and what's going on. They can write whatever they want in there. So it's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. Little engine. Back section. Hiking again finally. It's nice and little trail magic. Some
Oh, nice
comics
art.
and writing and stuff. Alright, let's see what's happened recently.
Oh, great! That's the same penmanship.
Holy crap. Wait a second. Hold on, I'm adjust the camera here. This writing
It's the same.
looks almost exactly
Yeah.
like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here.
Even though the shelter where Phil's currently staying at is more than 2 miles away and on the other side of the
That is not far.
road from the previous one, the handwriting in the camp log is exactly the same as the handwriting that was on the notes and garbage on the other side of the road. This is pretty disturbing in itself, but it gets even more so when Phil starts to actually read some of the content in the logbook.
In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail. What the heck? In solitary confinement, I figured the following out. Refer to Isaiah 28:15 through 9. This
18.
is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary.
I would not be there. I would, like, the moment I see sunlight, I am booking out. I'm getting out of there.
Kind of weird. Those women down there said they were going to call the police on the guy. Wow, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
it goes in one direction, then immediately goes in a completely different direction. And there's just so much of it.
Guy is not lucid. Either this guy is doing drugs or he is mentally ill in a like upfront, non inflammatory way, because I feel like people like this who ramble a lot, who write this much, it's not a bit, because like who would do something like that as a bit? So this is This is a mental health issue.
Like this line up here. Think grave robbery in an attempt to obscure the reality of Little Mrs. Wolf. Content. Come up with some more of those wicked schemes, JB and company, so I can show some more of your true character.
The fact that there's a convicted felon walking around the woods leaving dark and weird notes all over the place is extremely concerning, and based on the
Very.
kinds of stuff the guy is writing, he's probably not in his right mind.
Exactly.
This could
That's either drugs or, like what I said, drugs or mental health issue. Maybe schizophrenia, not the slang that people throw around the internet. It's like literally, honestly, with this schizophrenic episode.
obviously be dangerous for Phil, especially since it's already pretty dark and he doesn't appear to have anything to defend himself with. As he gets ready to go to sleep in his tent, Phil walks back to the shelter once more, where he finds half a Gatorade bottle hanging from a string on the ceiling with a note in the
It's
same guy's
for-
handwriting that reads, "Watch out for Yeet Mouse. The dead do walk and talk." Understandably
Ooh.
creeped out by yet another disturbing note, Phil tries to fall asleep in his tent, obviously a little on edge from everything that happened that
Oh
day.
no.
The last thing you'd want to happen if you were in Phil's position would probably be to start hearing strange noises near the shelter in the middle of the night, and that's exactly what happened. While he was falling asleep, he heard something moving near the shelter, and as he poked his head out of the tent, he saw a single guy with a headlamp walking around the shelter. Not wanting to find out if it was the same guy who had been leaving notes, he quietly made his way back to the truck in the middle of the night, checking over his shoulder the entire way to make sure he wasn't being followed. Luckily, he made it back home safely, and as of 2024, he hasn't uploaded another video about the strange notes he found on the Appalachian Trail. It's pretty likely that dozens of other hikers after him came across the disturbing notes and the dead duck, but we'll probably never know who exactly the guy who wrote them was. Grizzly Gaz is a camping channel on YouTube consisting of dozens of videos featuring Gaz, the uploader, going on hiking and camping trips in the UK with his French bulldog named Fendi.
Oh,
In a lot of his
love
videos, he goes
Frenchies.
camping in some pretty extreme conditions,
that's-
and he often
ooh.
shows footage of his unexpected encounters with big animals in the middle of the woods. In April 2023,
Steer.
Gaz uploaded a video of a camping trip he made somewhere in the woods in the UK. The first part of the camping trip goes pretty much according to plan, with the footage showing Gaz setting up his tent and chopping wood to make a fire while his dog Fendi keeps him company as the sun begins to set. This next part wasn't shown in the footage, but as Gaz started to prepare his steak dinner
sorry.
over the fire, a random
throat
man
is
in
itchy.
jeans and a coat approached his campsite and asked him for a beer and some food.
nah.
Right, we've got steaks on go now.
Oh, nah,
Bit of
bro.
ribeye. Pot boiling for some mash.
Oh, damn.
And I've got a visitor.
No.
Creeped
no.
up behind me asking me if I had a light. Me pants.
Who would ask a light in the middle of nowhere?
This is Martin anyway. I don't know him, but he's stopping for a steak, so...
Just some random crate wandering about.
You went round here in a poncho a couple of months ago, were you?
Don't think a lot. I could have been.
Although the
Is-
encounter with the man itself was pretty tame, it's still pretty creepy to be camping in the woods in the middle of nowhere and suddenly be
Exactly.
approached by a random guy asking for things. If you listen closely to what he's saying, some of the guy's sentences are a little incoherent, and he appears to ramble a bit when he talks, almost like he's kind of out of it. Later in the
Probably
footage,
is.
Gaz reveals that Martin was homeless, and that as they shared their dinner, he told Gaz his story about how he had ruined his life with drugs and how he had ended up
Yeah.
walking alone in the woods that day. Disturbingly, Gaz also mentioned that while they were having dinner, he turned around for a few seconds to chop some more wood to keep the fire going, and when he turned back around, Martin had left the campsite unannounced without even thanking Gaz for the food. After the strange encounter,
I mean, when people become that, they just come and go. You know, like they just do whatever they want. I have a relative like that. I have an uncle who just, kind of out of it, and you can't really like expect them to adhere to social norms. But it's kind of sad. But at the same time, you gotta be weary of what they might be capable of.
the uploader decided to leave the campsite and head home out of fear that the man would possibly tell his friends about
Yeah,
meeting some guy camping
that's the
out in the middle
thing.
of the woods.
Right? Like if an addict or somebody who's not mentally coherent and homeless, like, oh, I got free steak, I got a free beer, I'm gonna tell my friends. Or Worse, if some switch flips, goes back and tries to hurt you, you never know. So this is a good shot of not being hurt.
with expensive filming
Very
equipment
smart
lying
decision.
around and suggest robbing him or possibly worse. To see if Martin would come back in the middle of the night with possibly ill intentions, Gaz actually left a trail camera on the tree at the campsite
nice.
to capture everything that happened that night. Based on his behavior, it's pretty hard to gauge Martin's intentions and know whether he was just confused and possibly under the influence, or if he had something more sinister planned that evening.
Or both.
Either way, it's probably a good thing that Gaz left the campsite and didn't go back until the next morning, especially since when he did go back, his trail camera that he had left was completely gone.
Yeah, they're gonna sell it.
Creepy Outdoors is a channel where the uploader frequently shows footage of his nighttime visits to sketchy outdoor locations during all 4 seasons. In October 2022, Creepy Outdoors uploaded a video of a camping trip he took to an unnamed forest in the middle of nowhere, recording everything he saw as he explored some of the surrounding woods in the darkness. For the first few minutes, all you can hear is the guy's breathing, and you can't help but be kind of amazed at how brave it is to visit a dark forest in the middle of nowhere all alone, not knowing if you're going to run into potentially hostile animals or something else. As the video progresses, the uploader makes a few comments and observations on his surroundings, and throughout the footage, there doesn't appear to be anyone else in.
Okay. What most people don't think about when it comes to these types of, like, I guess, endeavors is that your flashlight is up front, which means your back is all dark, unless you have like a floodlight on the back of your head. I'm weird like that. I'm probably gonna do that if I do something like this, which I'm probably not gonna do. Just take a mental note of that. That what you see right now, that is the only light. You don't have light behind you. Why do people do things
in the forest with him? Around 13 minutes in, though, an extremely disturbing sound takes the footage in a pretty dark
Wait,
direction.
why is that light? Oh, that's a fire?
Oh, hi. What?
What the fuck?
I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh,
No.
Okay.
No.
that was creepy.
No.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the distance, probably a couple of hundred feet away from the uploader, a voice yells, "I see you." It's possible that the disturbing sound
shivers.
was made by a coyote or a fox,
No,
but
no.
because it sounded so much like "I see you," it could have also been another camper trying to mess with the uploader and scare him. Because the YouTuber had been talking and making noise almost the whole time, he might have inadvertently alerted someone else who may have wanted to play a prank on him just for the fun of it.
Look, if you're camping by yourself, maybe, or you're camping, just period, and then you see a light moving around the woods, you wouldn't go like, "I see you." No. Ew.
Still, it's hard to imagine why anyone else would be wandering in the same secluded part of the woods as the uploader.
Camping,
What's
sure.
most disturbing is that the person or animal or whatever it was that made the noise appeared to yell out right after the guy turned off his lamp, almost as if they were waiting for that to happen to yell out something disturbing. Luckily, the uploader was able to make it back to his campsite safely and has continued uploading outdoor footage to this day.
Bro, I would literally shit my pants. I'm not gonna pass out because, like, why would you want to pass out if somebody in the middle of the woods with a very playful tone, "I see you"?
Sam is a YouTuber from Cleveland, Ohio, who's been uploading videos of his stealth camping trips to his channel, The Northwest Wind, since 2016. For those of you who don't know, stealth
That is a very cool name, though. Northwest Wind. That is some anime title shit. You know those anime shows where, like, it's not even isekai anymore. It's like the meta right now is like Adventurers Guild type of shit, right? Where, you know, the protagonists are part of, you know, like an adventure, and a lot of the stronger characters have like cool ass nicknames. The Northwest Wind is a very, very badass nickname.
Camping just means parking your
Sorry.
camper van pretty much anywhere without paying for parking, and people do it anywhere from residential neighborhoods to the middle of nowhere. In January 2024, Sam uploaded footage of his stealth camping trip to the woods in Cleveland, leaving his camper van at a local dog park a few hundred yards away. On his way into the woods, he finds a camping tent that's been shredded to pieces, which is honestly a little creepy, but he keeps going anyway.
Maybe
After
it's
setting
old.
up his tent in the woods, he starts cooking dinner on a camping stove. As the sun starts to set, he sees a couple of people walking by the campsite, and this is when he mentions that he's getting a bad vibe and feels like he's possibly in danger from them. Most experienced campers would probably tell you that if your gut is telling you something's wrong, you should probably
Yeah.
call it a day and leave.
Get
But
out.
Sam
Just
decided
get
to
out.
stick it out for the night and kept on
Ooh.
recording.
No.
As soon as he settles down in his tent to get some sleep, things start to get very creepy.
Let me guess.
Somebody, hang on. I don't know if they can see it or not through the tent. I don't think so. I'm
They
leaning right up
can't.
against the light, but somebody's walking around out there very close to the tent.
Why are we still there?
As the seconds pass by, the footsteps outside seem to get louder and louder. At one point, Sam calls out to whoever's out there, but at first he doesn't get a response. It's only after he calls out for about the 5th time that every camper's worst nightmare starts to become a reality for Sam.
No. What is it?
They're walking around outside in circles.
Hello? Hello?
I have a
Right,
gun.
I don't like this. Hello? Hello?
I would yell that out.
They're
I
touching
have
my
a
tent.
gun.
Hello? Hello? Alright, I'm getting out of here. Hello? Hello? I don't know what this is, but we're getting out of here. Hang on. Hello? Okay, they're walking away now. What do you want? What do you want? I have a knife. Where's my knife? They're f***ing with me.
That would be the first thing that I would yell out. I have a weapon. I will hurt you. Man.
With me here. Holy crap. Get away. What do you want? Hello, I can't see you.
Why would you
Hello?
say that? Why would you say that?
All right, I'm getting out of here. We're getting
And that's a
outta
big
here.
knife. Yeah, that's a big knife though.
One thing that a lot of people in the comments of Sam's video have pointed out is that if you're being stalked or attacked by a stranger in the middle of the woods, it's probably not a good idea to show weakness by saying things like, I can't see you, I'm
Yeah.
spooked, and I don't like this.
And the thing about this is like, if he is going to book it, I would leave the tent. I would just grab the light and whatever, like a backpack maybe, and just book it. Like,
After this, the
Screw the
attackers
tent.
apparently leave the campsite, but as soon as he steps out of the tent, Sam sees them standing eerily in the woods just a few feet away from him.
ooh,
Collapsed my tent on me. I don't know which way they went. I think they went this way. I see you. Get away!
I can't see anything. Can't see anything.
All right, I'm spooked. I don't like this. Get my headlamp on and we're getting out of here right now. They're just standing there. They're just standing there. What do you want? Leave me alone!
Completely freaking
Oh,
out
there
after
it
the
is.
disturbing encounter, he obviously decides to call it a night and head back to his van in the park, but things only continue to get worse for Sam.
All right, they're moving again. I don't know. I'm getting out of here. We're going. I'll come back for this some other time.
Yeah,
All
that's gonna be
Out of here.
trashed.
I'm leaving. Don't follow me.
Please don't kill me. I have money. Please don't kill me. I have a lot of food and drugs. Like, keep on saying the wrong things, bro.
I don't know
And
where
I
to go.
get it.
I
He's
don't know which way
scared,
to
but
get out of here.
you would think that he would know how to function in these like hypothetical life or death situations, I guess, or
I
dangerous
smell
at
your
least.
cigarette. I can hear you. I hear you.
As he's making his way back to the park, he looks back at the campsite and sees the attackers stealing his things, but he decides to leave his stuff behind, terrified for his life.
These are
As he's
freaking
running through the
crackheads,
woods
bro.
now, he turns back and sees his attackers chasing him.
This has got to lead back to the main trail. I don't know where they are. It's all foggy up here. I got water in my headlamp. I don't know where to go. I don't see or hear anybody
Oh no.
anymore. I hear them coming. Can't see the shadow. Here's a path. Okay.
How can they see through the dark though? I mean, okay, it is a thing where when you're in the dark for an extended period, you can sort of like see or feel your way through. I don't know how
I'm recording all of this.
they won't.
I'm calling up police. All right, I'm back on the path.
I'm getting triggered. I'm so sorry. I get it. He's scared. He's terrified. He is in danger. I'm so sorry. But like, if he's been like stealth camping for a long time, I don't know, man.
Back on the path. Okay.
No disrespect, though. You know.
Get away from me!
After making it back to his van safely, he drove home and gave his viewers a recap of everything that happened. As you can imagine, a lot of people in the comments accused the uploader of staging the video, mentioning that nobody in their right mind would continue to record as they
I mean,
sprint through
Okay.
the woods in the dark. But his reaction seems pretty genuine to me.
yeah, because like he pretty much said all the wrong things. Like even the narrator of the video says that, you know, like, yeah, don't show weakness, which is true. You know, like the first thing, if you know people are like stalking you, I have a knife. I have a big knife. Get the F away, right? But he kept on like, oh, I'm so scared. Oh, I'm freaking out. Like, you know, like if you're a meth head or a crackhead hopped up on drugs, like, oh my god, yeah, he's got the money, yeah.
Different people act different ways in situations of stress.
Yeah.
As for who the two guys who stalked and attacked him were and what they wanted,
But even so, like he's been doing this for a long time, right? Like he's been stealth camping and being out in the wilderness a lot. So he should know, right? He should know how to function better in these situations. But I guess, you know, maybe if it's like one person, he wouldn't be as terrified. But if it's two guys, especially if they're out of their minds with, you know, their veins pumped full of drugs, then
it's really anyone's guess. If what they did to Sam was some kind of joke, that's a pretty messed up joke to play on someone.
That's not
But because the
that's-
uploader confirmed that they didn't end up stealing his stuff when he went back the following morning.
Wait, what?
But because the uploader confirmed that they didn't end up stealing his stuff when he went back the following morning, it's also clear that looting the campsite wasn't really their main focus. We can't really know what they would have done to him if he hadn't run from the campsite.
Where was a small generator though? There was like a small generator, right? Where is it? Here. Is this a generator or oh, it's a tote of something.
What they would have done to him if he hadn't run from the campsite. But at any rate, it's probably a good thing he did. Love Sundays is a camping channel on YouTube run by a guy named Sean, who uploads some pretty cool footage of his solo camping trips everywhere in the UK. In February 2024, he uploaded a video where he left his van on the side of the road next to the woods, and then went to do some exploring, jumping over a fence to walk through the woods. After that, Sean makes his way back to his van to make dinner, where he then heads out once again for an evening stroll through the woods.
That looks good.
Upon his return to the van,
I like
he goes
soup.
to bed at about 9 p.m. But at 3 in the morning, things start to get a little disturbing.
All being well, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. A car's just pulled up,
Oh,
and it sounds like they're walking around the van.
ooh, That's a
As soon as
flashlight.
Sean pulls back the curtains, the people who were walking around the van get back in their car. When he put his head out the window to see what was going on, the car drove away, leaving him alone for the rest of the night. It wasn't until the next morning that Sean realized what the visitors had done to his van.
Did they slash his
I think we
tires?
should at least go outside and see how miserable the weather is.
Oh, they messed up the door, huh?
My door's stuck.
Go around the front.
What the actual...
What happened?
See that?
Oh, is that? It's a zip tie.
So here's... There's obviously just people wanting to talk about and just be funny, I guess, but
That's fucked up.
how dangerous is that? Locking someone in their van? Let me check the back door. Well, there's nothing on this one because they wouldn't have been able to tie it to anything, would they? There's no way they could have done that door anyway.
Why someone would want to lock a stranger in their van is anyone's guess, and the only reasonable explanation I can think of is that maybe they were trying to steal the diesel from the van and put the zip ties on the door in case Sean realized what was happening and attempted to get out to stop them. It could have also
Did people siphon like gasoline from vehicles? I don't know that was a thing.
been a local who didn't want anyone parking their camping van in that area, but will likely never know. Luckily, after he cut the zip ties off, he made it back home unharmed and has continued uploading videos of his camping adventures in the UK. The Facts by HowToHunt.com is a channel dedicated to sharing knowledge about the outdoors and encouraging people to explore the wilderness.
Ooh, dude, hunters probably have really interesting stories. The shit that they probably see out there. Oh,
In January 2022, a pretty terrifying video was uploaded to the channel in which a group of teenagers can be seen reacting to some strange sounds coming from somewhere in the woods.
okay.
You hear it?
Is it knocking?
Austin, get the light.
Bigfoot!
Hey! That was not an elk.
Bigfoot! Or crackheads again.
Get my keys. Oh, get ready.
That is ooh. Is that a bark? Ooh, that's a growl. Kind of sounds like a dog. A big one.
Everybody, get in my truck.
When you're out in the woods in the middle of the night, it can be easy to mistake
Bro.
certain animal noises with human screams. Foxes, coyotes, and bobcats
No.
are all known to make sounds that can sometimes be hard to
That's
tell
either a
apart from human
dude
yelling.
fucking with
But
them
in this
or
case, I don't know of
Sasquatch.
any animal that can make that kind of noise, especially when you consider how loud the banging on the trees was.
Bigfoot.
Elk are known to rub their antlers against trees, but it obviously doesn't sound that loud or
Dude, if it's an elk rubbing its antlers, it's gonna sound like scraping. Right? It's not like hitting. Right?
menacing. A lot of people in the comments of the video have mentioned that the sounds aren't too different from human screams.
Yeah.
And it could have just been a man screaming in the woods in the middle of the night.
Yeah, messing with them.
Although that's also pretty messed up in itself. Even though some viewers have claimed the video is staged, the uploader's reactions seem pretty genuine in this case, and the only thing we can say for sure is that it's probably a good thing that the guys didn't run into whoever or whatever was making those noises.
Bro, that was Bigfoot. Or like what I said, crackheads. Anyway, those are the 6 most disturbing camping encounters caught on cam by Chilling with Scares. Check out their channel. Subscribe to them. I am. The video is linked on the description below. Their channel is linked on the description and the title. And yeah, I'll see you next time.